M1 MacBook Air versus the newly released M2 MacBook Air. What's up, guys? Well, at first I thought this comparison would be very easy, but as I dug deeper into the specification and all the parameters of these two laptops, I realized that the choice was not as easy as I originally thought, but that's why I'm coming with this video. We are gonna make this all clear right now. And just as I said, the choice is not as easy because, well, the M1 MacBook Air, even though it's almost 2 years old, it's still a great value laptop. However, now with the M2 MacBook Air, we have some redesign, we have some nice changes that most users will definitely enjoy. And on the other hand, again, like the M1 MacBook Air didn't get a price drop. So like being a 2-year-old product, it's the same price or even more expensive like here in Poland, which makes it not as great deal as it was before. And that's why this comparison is tricky, and that's why Apple knows it. Like that's the reason, that's the way they construct their pricing. So like you wanna upscale, you wanna, buy the more expensive product because it seems to be a better deal, and they know it, they do it on purpose. But that doesn't change the fact that the M1 MacBook Air is still a great laptop. And on the other hand, we have all of these nice upgrades with M2 MacBook Air. And like, what upgrades am I specifically talking about? Well, first of all, the most obvious is actually the design. We have the notch, we have the slimmer bezels, the display got a little bit brighter, we got the new color, the midnight color that I personally love, and that's a big redesign. The form factor of MacBook Air is changed. It looks more like these M1 Pro MacBooks, the 14 and 16 inch, looks way more futuristic, way more, in line with the design of the new MacBooks, more futuristic, overall a better design in my opinion. So like it could be a big selling point for the newly released MacBook Air. But that's not the only point, because with the new design come other changes that most users will definitely appreciate. Like more ports, we finally have MagSafe, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack that we don't have on an M1 MacBook Air, and we have a better speaker sound system. And that is always a big deal for me personally. I don't know how about you, maybe you're using your headphones a lot, but like having great speakers is always a great thing, because sometimes you just want to listen to those speakers, and with the more immersive sound, the experience of watching movies, videos is always a better one. So like this is still for me a big selling point for the new MacBook Air. But again, this is not the only selling point for the newly released MacBook Air, since now we have the M2 chip. And what Apple actually didn't tell you is that right now they are not selling the 8-core GPU version of the M1 MacBook Air. So like if you wanna go for the base, the M1, the previous MacBook Air, you have only one choice, and that is the very base version of the M1 chip with the 7-core GPU. And on the other hand, when it comes to M2 MacBook Air, you not only get more powerful processor, but you also either get 8-core GPU or 10-core GPU, depending how you choose it. So like when it comes to the power, there are definitely gonna be some performance boosts that you will appreciate if you're a heavier user. And yeah, I'm saying heavier user because these are not very cheap laptops, especially here in Europe. So like maybe you wanna do something more, like edit videos, maybe even play some games which Apple advertised on their WWDC, and I made a separate video on that called Apple Master Gaming Plan, so you may wanna check that out. But like coming back to MacBook comparison, we narrowed down our choices to basically few options. Like we have the base MacBook Air, the M1 version, the previous one, that's still a great laptop, offers you decent power, great battery life, solid screen, great experience when it comes to typing. It's still what MacBook Air was always supposed to do and supposed to be, and it's even better because, of that battery life, because of that M1 chip, because of that, better keyboard that was implemented in that MacBook Air in the year of 2020. So like it's still a great laptop for what MacBook Air is supposed to do, for typing documents, even for doing some heavier stuff, because we still have that M1 chip. Even though it's the weakest version, it's still plenty powerful, it's still fanless, so it's still a great choice. However, with that M2 MacBook Air, this is of course a better product. And when it comes to the price difference of $200, like for me, this is personally no-brainer. Like $1,000 versus $1,200, and you get new design, you get a bit better display, a bit brighter display, and it's actually more important than you think, you know. You get better performance, better speakers, you get MagSafe. This is overall a better product. And for $200, like, the design is more futuristic. The speakers are gonna give you way more fun as the years go by, you know, when you want to listen to something and just watch some movie. The performance is better, and you can never have too much performance. It's always better to, you know, have a faster laptop that's more futuristic, that will give you better future-proofing overall. So if this choice were up to me, I would definitely go for the M2 MacBook Air. But this is provided on one condition, like the price difference is $200. Because if, like, you can find MacBook Air, the M1 version, on some decent deal for lower price, and you are, you know, tight on cash, tight on a budget, and you still want to have a terrific laptop, then this is the option I would personally choose, because it's still a MacBook Air. So you're probably not going the Pro way. You're probably not going for the 14-inch MacBook Pro, 16-inch and stuff like that, you know. You still probably want to have a basic laptop that's plenty capable and can do all you want. And the M1 MacBook Air is exactly like that. And if you can find it on a deal, and you don't really care that much about, you know, that redesign, you don't care about spending more, this is definitely the laptop I would choose. I would choose this laptop for me if I could find it on a deal, especially here, you know, in Europe, where the prices are a bit higher and the price gap, you know, between the M2 MacBook Air and M1, you know, is kind of crazy. It's not too much, but it's not too little, and like, you're a bit confused. So I would be looking for a deal on the M1 MacBook Air and choose that. But if you want that newer design and you just like it, maybe you like the color, because it's also important, you know, that midnight one looks absolutely beautiful. You wanna future-proof yourself better with that processor, with that speakers, you know, with that ports, etc. Like, you cannot go wrong with the M2 MacBook Air. Well, actually, you can go wrong with the other M2 MacBook, which is MacBook Pro, and I'm gonna make a separate video on that, but you know, that is a different topic. But when it comes to the strict comparison between the M2 MacBook Air and M1, the 2020 version of MacBook Air, as I said, to sum things up and simplify the choice for you as much as I possibly can. If I could get a deal on M1 MacBook Air, and you know, I just wanted a great laptop that's gonna give me a great experience, great performance, you know, full experience of macOS and all of these capabilities, then I would definitely go for that one. It's still a great laptop, plenty of performance, great battery life, very accurate and sharp display, you know, still that kind of premium design when it comes to MacBooks. But if that's not enough for you, if you want something more, then the M2 MacBook Air, like, you cannot go wrong with that. You possibly can't. And if the price difference, you know, is just like $200, then I would definitely pay some more and get the M2 version, because it's objectively a better laptop. And for that extra $200, I feel like this is a good deal. And if you can spend a little bit more, you can't go wrong with that M2 MacBook Air. But as I said, if you are tight on a budget, you wanna, you know, still have a great laptop, just look out for these M1 MacBook Airs that are on the deal. They are cheaper than this, you know, $1,000, because I'm definitely not cool with that price after 2 years, and I don't think it's really that worth comparing to the M2 version. So yeah, that's my suggestion. Hope you did enjoy, hope it was helpful. If it was, I would really appreciate if you smash the like button, maybe subscribe for content like that and much more. And if it wasn't, if you still have some questions, you know, just comment down below. I'll gladly answer that and help you out with your situation. Hope you did enjoy. Until next time.